So thank you, Mr. Lucas, for joining me today. It's great to have you not in the studio, in our Zoom world here. Your signatures have been certified by the city clerk's office, and you're officially on the ballot for the special election that's going to happen on March 16th for the Ward 2 City Councilor-at-Large. What made you to decide to run again? You ran in 2019. What made you decide to run again?
Yes, thank you, Jen, for that question, and thank you for interviewing me this afternoon. I did run in 2019, and I did not win, but I had a very good showing in small pockets of the city, and I just want to build on what I did in 2019 here in 2021. I mean, I want to be a leader in the direction that this city takes going forward. I want to be a voice for the community. And I believe my background, skills, and experience makes me the most qualified candidate in this race to be on the Newton City Council.
What are some of those qualities that you have?
Well, my background, I am a former elected member and vice president of the Newtonville Area Council. I served in that position for 2 years in 2018 and 2019. That was highlighted by the area council's Envisioning Washington Street survey. We all know that Washington Street and many other parts of Newton are going to go through changes in the years and decades to come. But this was our way of giving everyday residents a chance to give their say what they want their city to look like, that they love very much. And that's what I would like my legacy to be, that as an area councilor. I also want that to be my legacy as a city councilor, someone who was always going to reach out to residents through different methods. So that's what I hope to bring to the council.
So what are some of your priorities that you're looking to tackle as a councilor? Zoning, affordable housing, development? What are some of the ones that you're interested in tackling?
Well, as you said zoning first, so I guess we should talk about that. That's been very controversial here in Newton over the past few years here. And as the city is rezoning every parcel of land in this city in 2022, or maybe even going forward. And I want to be part of that conversation. I want to make sure that any and all zoning changes to Newton benefit everybody living in Newton, not just those who are well connected and well financed. I do support progress, but not at the expense of the powerless. So that's one priority of mine. Mm-hmm. Another one is development. I believe Newton should develop. I have not been a big fan of previous development, so I would like to change the way how we develop. In particular, we've had approximately 2,000 new housing units approved by the city council or the Zoning Board of Appeals in the past few years. Only a couple hundred have come online, but they're all going to be rentals, all rentals. I would like to see ownership in the form of condos. I believe Newton should do that for people who cannot buy a house in Newton. They should be able to buy a condo in Newton. From a social justice standpoint, I believe that is a good thing. With apartment buildings and rental units, the wealth is only created by those who own it, not those who live in it. So I would like to see condos available for sale. That's something that I will push for as a Newton City Councilor. So there's just a couple of things that I would like to bring to the table.
The top two. So February is Black History Month, and your team sent out a press release that I found very interesting in terms of your background, your family. Could you, I guess, talk a little bit about that?
Sure. How much time do we have? No, I'm kidding. Yeah. As I would say, we come from all 5 corners of the globe. So let's start with my mom's side of the family. My mom's grandmother is from the island of Nevis, where Mr. Broadway star, that's where Alexander Hamilton was born. And I've been to Nevis. I was there 5 years ago when I was on vacation with my family. Wonderful country, wonderful island, very nice people. And it was just a cool experience to go there. So that's where my great-grandmother was from. And she also has family that is part Native American. So we are a mix. You know, my mom's side is a mix of a couple of different countries of origin. And on my dad's side, it's also part Native American. And my dad's mother's side of the family was Jewish. They immigrated to America in the early 20th century from Russia. So we have a pretty diverse background, and I think it's pretty cool.
Definitely. It's a very interesting, nice, I guess, mix of, as you say, diverse. I think it's fantastic. Mm-hmm. This also leads me to the question of how important would this mean or be for you if elected? You would be technically the first Black city councilor, though there was a Black alderman. So I guess it's just semantics at that point. But how important would that be for you to be that type of voice on the city council?
Yeah, I would be the first Black city councilor. But as you said, there actually have been two Black aldermen. One was Matthew Jefferson, and the other one was Carol Robinson, I believe. And she was the last one to serve. She left the Board of Aldermen in 1987. And Matthew Jefferson served from the late 60s up until 1985. So it would be a very cool honor, to be perfectly honest, to carry that or start a new tradition of having Black city councilors on the Newton City Council. So I'm actually looking forward to that. And I actually met Matthew Jefferson back in 2019 when I attended the Myrtle Baptist Church. And he and his family are still in Newton, and they live, some of his kids live outside of Newton too. But it was very, very honored to meet him a couple of years ago. And I actually spoke with his son just last week. So, I'm optimistic, and I hope I can carry the tradition that Matthew Jefferson and Carol Robinson had on the Board of Aldermen.
Do you think I guess, more diverse voice needs to be on the city council right now?
Yes, I believe not just now. There should always be a wide, considering that we have 24 city councilors. There is a large pool here in Newton. There's approximately 90,000 people. And yes, a voice, I believe, in every background should be on the council, whether it's their gender, their religion, their race, you name it. We should be more diverse as a community. And that's something I hope to bring to the council.
So let's kind of talk about the stuff that the city council has done in the past. What kinds of projects, proposals, what has the city council done, or the city overall done, that you have not approved of? We only have a few minutes. But ones.
Yeah. Well, I think the most recent one, and I was opposed to it, and that was the Northland development. That is approximately 800 new housing units, all apartments on Needham Street, and additional commercial buildings as well. It's a total of 1.5 million square feet. I live in Newtonville, just off of Washington Street, where we've had two mixed-use developments approved by the city council in the past few years. One of the arguments in approving those particular developments was that it's transit-oriented development, TOD. There are a lot of transit options if you live along Washington Street. Obviously, you can drive and walk, but you have the express buses going downtown. You have the commuter rail, and there are also other buses that go in and around Washington Street. The Northland development is on Needham Street, the corner of Needham and Oak. It is halfway in between the junction of 128 and Highland Avenue. And then on the other side, it's Center Street and Route 9. So it is the perfect storm for traffic. And we all know Needham Street is the worst traffic road in Newton. On top of that, it is just over 1 mile away from the Newton Highlands train station. And during the ballot referendum, we calculated that it will take approximately 15 minutes during rush hour to go from the old Marshall's Plaza, which is where the Northland development will be, to get to the Newton Highlands train station. Mm-hmm. If that transportation system plan does not work, Newton Upper Falls and Newton Highlands are going to have gridlock for years and years and years. And that is one of the reasons why I oppose that particular project. I believe that the transportation plan will not work. So.
And you're an advocate for TODs because of your upbringing. You were pretty close to transit so that you were able to move around. Obviously, this is one of the higher priorities for you, as you say, to get condos, more TODs available, more housing available around those areas.
Yeah, I grew up in Brookline. I grew up in Washington Square, excuse me, Washington Square and Coolidge Corner. And in those communities, you have the B line, the C line, the D line. You have the 60, the 65, the 66, the 86, the 57. You have lots of transit options in and around Brookline. Newton doesn't really have that many transit options, but we do have some along Washington Street, and that's why Washington Street is going to be built up with new developments in the coming years. That's one of the reasons why I wanted to produce a survey when I was on the Newtonville Area Council, just to give the residents a say of what they would like their city to look like. And I believe that's important from an elected official. You have to advocate for the residents who live in the area. And that's something that I will certainly do that if I'm fortunate enough to serve on the Newton City Council.
And win or lose, coming on March 16th, there is the municipal election coming up in November. So whomever wins either the Ward 1 or Ward 2 seat will have to run again. Will that be on your plate, win or lose?
Yeah, if I win, which I'm hoping and planning on, yes, I will run for re-election in November. And if I were to lose in March, I have not thought about that at all. I'm just focused on the next 42 days or 43 days now. And that's all my focus. And I'm trying to get as many votes as I can. And I'm campaigning every day, every night, every weekend. So.
And where can someone find more information about you in case they wanted to perhaps talk to you or send an email? Where and how can people connect with you?
Yep, best way to get in contact with me is my website. It is tariklucas.org, TARIKLUCAS.org. That is the best way to get a hold of me. You could send me an email or you could call me up. Either option works. And I look forward to connecting with as many Newton voters between now and March 16th.
Perfect. Well, we'll be keeping track and paying attention to how it's going. And perhaps we'll see you on March 17th in a new position.
That's right. Mm-hmm. Yes,
thank you very much, Mr. Lucas. I appreciate your time.
All right. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Have a wonderful day.